Welcome to this guided project on how to design and develop a website using Figma and CSS. My name is Delela and I'll be your instructor for this project. This project is for people who are interested in creating custom website designs and apply them in website creation. I'll teach you how to deploy your unique designs into a working website and use a vector graphics editor and prototyping tool called Figma to help you create your web designs easily. You don't have to be a graphics designer or web developer to take this project, but you should be familiar with the basics of HTML and CSS to get the most out of this project. I'm excited to teach you how to create amazing web designs and convert these into a website. I have worked as a full stack web developer and front end designer for several companies and have been working with Figma for many years now. So I have a good amount of experience experimenting with custom user interface designing and deploying that exactly as designed. Let's take a look at what you'll accomplish by the end of this project. We'll be designing the website in 3 sections with background vectors like this created from scratch using Figma, and then use HTML and CSS to develop a website that looks exactly like our designs. Using Figma, we can design, edit, and prototype any graphic designs. Throughout the tasks in this project, I'll give you a quick introduction to Figma, show you how to create screen designs, and convert it into your website. The entire project is divided into 6 tasks, out of which the first 4 will focus on designing the website in Figma, and the last 2 will focus on coding the website. On your cloud desktop, you'll see that the softwares Figma and Sublime are open. Figma is where we'll design our website, and Sublime is where we'll code. Minimize them, and on your desktop, you'll see a folder called My Project. This folder contains a folder named Codes, which will only be used in task 5 when we start coding, and a few other folders organized according to task numbers. These task folders contain images and text files that will be used in its respective tasks. Let's start getting familiar with Figma. For this, you will first need to create a free account on Figma. Open Figma and click on Login with Browser. This will redirect you to a login page on your browser. You can either log in using your Gmail account or create a separate account by clicking the link Create One at the bottom of the page. Enter any email ID and create a unique password to continue. Since I already have an account, I will be directly logging in. Once you see the message you're logged in as, followed by the email ID you use for your account, you're all set. Click on Open the Desktop app and click on Open Figma, and you'll see your Figma dashboard. Remember to log out of Figma and other accounts before you close the cloud desktop. Once you're in the software, you might see a few walkthrough pop-ups. You can either close these or pause the video and read through them. When you're ready, click on the plus icon on your top right. This will take you to a blank sheet, which will be your design canvas. Now let's get familiar with all the features Figma has to offer. On your top left, you'll see a horizontal toolbar, which contains a menu icon with 3 dashes, followed by 7 tools. We will use these tools to create objects, that is, shapes, text, lines, and so on, which will all be combined together to form our screen design. On your left, you will see a vertical layers panel, which will contain the list of all your designed objects. You can also switch to assets, although we won't be using this in our project. On your right, you have the design panel, which allows you to modify the properties of any objects you make in terms of color, size, etc. You can also switch to prototype or inspect panel, but we only need the design panel here. Let's look at these in more detail, starting from the toolbar. The first tool, the default tool, acts as your main cursor and is used for moving and scaling objects in the canvas, out of which we will only use the move option for our project. The second tool is frame and slice. Frame allows you to choose an area of the canvas to design in, And slice allows you to choose an area on your canvas that you can export or save to any location in your computer. The third tool allows you to create basic shapes and vectors, as well as import images into your canvas, hence making it one of the most important tools in this project. To create a shape, you choose your option and click on the canvas. You can then modify its properties on the design bar. Enter 50 and click on enter, and you'll have the properties changed. The next tool allows you to draw in any shapes or vectors in contrast to the previous shapes tool. The pen is what we will be using in our project to create abstract shapes with curves in any way you want. If you recall the designs that I had shown, these curves will be made using the pen tool. Next is the text tool, with which you can add text anywhere, followed by the hand tool, which can be used to drag and move your design elements around. And the last tool, which is used to add comments, but we won't be using this in our project. Let's try adding some linear gradient color to our rectangle. Go back to the Move tool and choose the rectangle, and go to the Fill property at the Design panel and choose a color. At the top of the color picker, you will find a drop down with solid selected. Choose linear, and it will automatically allow you to choose two colors that appear as a linear gradient on your rectangle. You will notice that the second color is transparent. This can be adjusted by clicking on the box and then moving the opacity bar below the color picker, or alternatively by typing in the percentage you want under the opacity bar. Try practicing by pausing the video to use these tools and other properties apart from fill, like stroke that gives an outline to your shape, and effects that allows you to add a shadow to your shape or blur them. Great job on completing the first part of this project. By now, you will be familiar with the basic tools and panels in Figma. In the next task, we'll continue with what we've learned and apply that to create a basic layout of our screen design.